Hey everyone, so I'm here in the kitchen. I was nominated by my father-in-law, Rabbi Hecht, for the Cholent challenge. We're all in quarantine, we're at home, we're spending a lot of time in the kitchen in our homes, and this is a great way to bring Shabbat, the spirit, the smell of Shabbos, into the home by making cholent. So I'm going to make cholent together with you and share a recipe. Just before I do that, we're going to start with a l'chaim, because of course, every great cholent has to start with a l'chaim. L'chaim, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam bo'er piragafen. And just before we get started, I heard this practice once, I don't know where from, but every time you cook a meal, to give charity. And I think it's a beautiful idea that I have food in front of me, I'm making food for myself and my family, and just before I do that, I want to make sure that someone else has food as well. So contribute towards charity, to share the meal with someone, even if they're not present in the home. So I'll give the charity here. Cholent and a recipe is like an oxymoron. Cholent is a quintessential Jewish food, besides the technical historical details, because you basically just put everything in the pot, whatever you have in your homes, so many different foods and spices, and it comes together as one wholesome dish. And that's what Jewish community is all about. Different people from different backgrounds and different ideas and different personalities, and we all come together, and we're not just a bunch of individuals, we create a new collective, something which is much larger, much more beautiful, much more delightful than just ourselves. So there's no precise recipe, and really in cholent you can do whatever you want, but here's how we're going to do it tonight. It varies from week to week. Start off with potatoes, and of course we put cholent originally. The Jewish tradition started that there was a big debate in the Jewish community if you're allowed to have hot food on Shabbat. I know it sounds strange. Well, Torah says you're not allowed to light a fire. You're not allowed to have a fire on Shabbat. The rabbis, with their tradition, understood that this means you're not allowed to kindle a fire. If you have a pre-existing flame, then by all means, you can keep that going. We have Shabbat candles. Light them before Shabbat, and we keep them going. Others, who were literalists and rejected traditional interpretation, said, no, you can't have any fire. That means even a fire from before. Next to the onion. So the rabbi said, you know what? We want to make sure that not only is this allowed, we want to promote this idea. That you should have light, you should have the light in your home to enjoy Shabbat. Made Shabbat candles to make sure there's light in your home Friday night. And they also said, if we have hot food on Shabbat day, the only way to have it hot is if you put it in some sort of fire, long, slow cooking fire. And so before crock pots were invented, before slow cookers, the rabbis invented this slow cooking method of making food. And they created the chamin, the cholent we have today. That became a staple in Jewish homes on Shabbat. The meat's in there, the potatoes, the onions, and then we have the classic barley and beans. So we're going to add that, which gives it a nice texture, which soaks up the water. So just dump in like I said, a variety of spices, I think, really brings together the flavors, and today we're going to umami, just because umami sounds good to put into foods. So there you have it, that's the cholent. Fill it up, we're going to fill it up with water, let it sit on the crock pot all the way from tomorrow afternoon through Shabbat afternoon, and the flavors are mixed together and come out with this delicious cholent which we'll enjoy with the family. So you can try cholent at home, and Join the challenge. Make yourself a cholent. Make it for your family. Share it with the world. Share it with your friends. And keep the spirit of Shabbat in your home and bring it to the world.